Pega भी है और
No. It's actually it's about tech challenge, technical challenge with different technical technologies. Like they have Hybris, data integrations, then Salesforce, and
okay.
actually they have multiple. So in each one they have individual challenge, and there is a team event as well. That is we call digital challenge. So
Okay.
digital challenge has price of 2 lakh rupees, and this individual has price limit of 30,000.
Okay.
So digital challenge actually
So
like
you,
they
so you basically Pega won through you.
no. It's like individual challenge of the figure I won. Yeah. Yes.
Right. I
But
mean, but you used Pega, right, for whatever project you did.
yes.
Okay, cool. So the Salesforce, you beat Salesforce then.
No. Actually, that's I told like actually every technology have their individual challenge as well.
Right, but
Oh.
Salesforce is also a competition to beat Pega, right?
No, not actually. There is a digital challenge. Actually, there is a team event. There we have combined different technology within it.
Oh, okay.
So we are not competing with other technology because like if you see someone one from data integration, so he can't do the same thing there, right? So there actually that there is different thing in Pega. We need to develop the business process. In some way, actually, it was a different thing. They have Adobe AEM, Data Hybrid, Salesforce. So they have different technology, blockchain. So they have different components and different technology, and each has different individual challenge. And then actually there is team event. So we have a mixture of 5 people from different technology. We need to provide solutions for digital shopping, digital shoppers. So then we need to integrate social integrations. We need to integrate wow features, something like that. We need to integrate in our ideas. Which we need to present the ideas onto the digital shopping. So that actually we did not win. They actually was win by some other team. So that is the 2 lakhs rupees one. So 5 members team will win that one. And this one is the individual challenge with Pega. So there is like total 74,000 people participate in that one. And from that they selected 45 peoples, and that 45 peoples compete here.
So that's a big
Amazing.
group, big
Yeah, it's
competition.
huge. Yeah.
Yeah, actually,
So this is only with your organization, or they
no,
allowed
actually
other organizations?
India level, actually completely India level organization that happened.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Amazing.
He did it actually like they're actually like everywhere. It's like from Chennai, Bangalore, Calcutta, Delhi, and Ahmedabad, Bhubaneswar. So from Mumbai, Pune, so
What
all
was
everywhere
the
people
name
came
of
for that.
this challenge?
Yeah, they actually like they want to show. Actually, Capgemini wants to show off that like they are working onto the emerging technologies. So one of the like their strategy of the branding.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so it's like I'll tell you about this one later. So hope it's where you have practiced that one some of the time of your Pega use cases or anything. In that like in that we have missed a couple of days. So you have practiced couple of things maybe. So today actually what I'm going to do is we're going to start. Actually, I'll tell you about like what I did later on to that. So today actually we till now we have covered many things onto that, right? So what are the different keys, process, flows, and UI, data modeling, everything till we have covered up. So now actually like the main features of Pega, like how you can automate the things. So Pega provides different methodology and different rules to automate your rules. So first thing is like how you can automate business rules. So there is only 3 type of rules which is related to that. We called it when rule, decision tables, and decision tree. So when rule is simple like if condition. So if you say like if this is uh, right, then return true. If this is not true, then return false. And based on that, we can provide different conditions. So if you say just like if I'm married, then get the wife name. If I'm actually divorced, get the divorce date. Or like that, actually, like the when condition, we can put business conditions. Then next is the decision table. So decision table is like a table-like structure. We can include for same property with multiple values. So that actually in a tabular format, we can do that decision table. And next is decision tree. So decision tree is mainly like used for multiple condition at one place. So in when we are returning true and false, but with decision tree we have like, see, if is this, then do this, if that, do this, if. So we can have multiple if condition within a single decision tree, or it can be nested as well. So that actually we can see the uses of that decision tree. And then apart from that, there are some more business policy which is used for from the decision. Then we call it routing. So what do you mean by routing? So if you see, it was says that like after your leave request submit, the request need to be approved by a business people or HR people or manager or actually the VP of the department. So it need to be routed properly. So without that, how we are going to route it? So particularly, or we want to route it to a particular work basket, so that it will be picked up by someone else. So that actually the concept is called as routing. The next is notification. So notification is it's all about like sending a different way of communications. So if you want to communication by fax, or you want to communicate by SMS, or you send by email, or you want to send the hard copy by post. So that will print.
Excuse me, Mukesh, is that a different slide?
No, I'm not actually not moved to one. So we're going to cover that all.
Okay.
Some actually a part of automatic business policy. All that will be going to be covered. So
okay.
Yeah. Today mainly we are going to see the decision tables only, decision logics, and tomorrow we'll see the other part of it. Okay. So in the correspondence we are going to see how we can going to communicate with the user. So what are the different mechanisms we are going to communicate with the user? So how we can send email, how we can write a like dynamic email. So that we're going to see onto that. The next one is SLA, because Pega is all about the BPM process, and the BPM process we have all the tasks within it. So how we can going to generate like the task service label? So that need to be done within that time zone. If that is not done within that time zone, what we are going to do? So Pega provides that feature that we call as service label agreement, SLA rules. So we'll discuss about the SLAs on that as well. And the final is called as delegation. So what do you mean by delegation is, there are various rules, right, which doesn't require to change. Like all that business policy which I told right now, right, actually that all are actually like the related to mainly business. So they know actually when need to be changed. And in the production, if you say it's like in the live environment, we might need to change some of the features without impacting the code. So if you say you're routing, actually like as an example, so in routing we have a decision table we used, and somehow we want to change one more level of approval, or we want to remove VP approval from there. So what we need to do? Actually just like business people can remove the row, or we can include the condition directly onto that, and all other things are same. If your application is not going to change with that. So that type of rule can directly be handled by business people, BA or business people onto that. So that it will be called as delegation. So if you say one more example, email. So the email body contains some of the things, and now a requirement came up, we need to include one more some of the text within that the email. So email are actually configured as a part of the rule. So if you say, if you want to do that, we need to go back to the development, or we go with the same cycle of it. Another way, directly business people updated that just the template of it, and that's fine. Actually, like, it's running in production. So without any change, we can achieve that using the delegation part of it. So I'm going to tell you about the delegation onto that. So today we are going to cover what do you mean by decision rules and what are the different features of decision rules. So that is like we have the already explained this bit, all the things onto that. So that routing, service exception and escalations, work parties and notifications. So that we are going to cover into this. So the thing is the decision rules. So decision rules is like to provide the how we are going to evaluate the business rules. What are the things? If I'm going to approve, what will happen? If I'm going to reject, what will happen? So that thing actually like all things are depend on decisions. And using these steps, we are going to automate the rules. Actually, like we don't know what are the things are happening. So automatically based on the user actions, it will going to automate the process based on these steps. So we'll got to know, okay, the type of request choose by the user is this. So based on that, it will take the steps based on that, like the flow. We have PTO, other leave, and extended leave. So we have used a decision shape, but we have not implemented it. So based on the type of leaves which was request chosen, we'll going to create a decision table, and from that we can include that decision table in our thing, so that we can get to know how the flow will be automatically picked up by after that. We don't need to do any manual effort after that. So we're going to see that onto that one. So how to use when rule, decision table, and decision tree. So that's I already told. When rules are simple, if else if rules. So basically you can have the return from that if and else if group is true or false. So if particular if this, so it will be like if it is true, then it will return true. If this is false, then it will return false. So that is like in various places we are going to use when rules in our processing. So one good example is to skip the entire stage. So if you see you're in the PTO, you have applied leave for just 2 hours. So 2 hours leave, actually if you say just like in a business rule, doesn't require any approval. So if it's 2 hours, it will directly approved. So we can skip the complete approval stage in our case. So there we can use a when rule. So we can see that when total leave acquired by PTO is less than 2 hours, so don't approve or actually let's keep the stage so that it will go for the pending uses onto that. And there are actually another way actually when rule are used in other rules as well. So in the UI also when we are going to create a dynamic UI, so there are different conditions with the UI like visible, disable, required. So there also we can use when conditions. So that's actually based on that we can use the when conditions. And there is another way the flows, various flow use, decision shapes, all like data transforms rule and activity. There are the more technical rules also use the when conditions onto that. Next is your decision table and decision tree. So decision table contain like a table type of structure. You can see this one, table type structure. So at them, actually first actually we provide the different properties, and then here actually like if else if will be there. So if we say if A and B and C, then return D. Same way if we see like in the second row, like in the same way if A and you are not going to give C, so if A and B, then return D. So that way, and finally you have a one more option that is called as if none of them rows are satisfied, it is going to return the otherwise one. So that it will be called as otherwise condition onto that. And in decision table, actually one thing is happen. Actually, it start with the first label. So first row will be evaluated first, and if this is false, then it is going to start to evaluate the second, then third, and then fourth, and finally it's going to return the otherwise result. And if One is successful, then it's not going to evaluate all others row. So first it will be evaluate the first row. If that becomes true, it will return D and it will not evaluate all the below rows. Okay. So Pega provide one more feature for that. If you have given some condition which is never going to be evaluated. So there is the Pega feature is called as show conflicts. So in that scenario, it will give that row is never going to be executed. So if you see like in our scenario, we have write if A, B, and C is then true, and the same in second we've written if A, B of the same value. Like if we have not included C in there, so then if somehow that will be conflict. So because we have given A and B of the same value, and we are not talking about whatever the value of C. So every time the first row will be getting executed and the second row will never execute with that. So that is a conflict within that the decision table. So that we can check with that. And another feature we called it show completeness. So if you see we are applying for the leave and we have just written the condition for family leave here and we have not excluded the bereavement leave here. So in that scenario, if we click onto the show completeness, it will give back all the options to provide that. So what you want to do with that type of leave. So that we call it show completeness. And decision table provide actually like a runtime feature as well. So based on the values and the property, you can test your decision tables in simultaneously. On the time itself, there is a run feature. So you want to test your decision table or decision tree, you can test it out as well, like if that value is this and this, how it will behave. If this value is actually you want to change it, and after that also you can test your decision tables conditions. And there is one more feature in decision table, we call it export and import. That actually we did it in specifications and requirement as well, right? So same way decision tables can be exported as a Excel sheet, and then you can make changes to the decision table and you can come back, upload it back to the in Pega. So why actually that is required? Actually, like that is for if you have in a complex situations. So if you have a decision table of more than 100 values, so if you say you have going for a country wise, so that is like you have 200 countries, and with the 200 countries you have different conditions. So you cannot maintain that, and like it will be not visible in a single place. So in that scenario, you can go for export it and update the in Excel sheet, and you come back to the import into the decision table back. And this feature is actually enabled in 7.2.1 only. It was not there in 7.2 also. It was a new feature in 7.2.1. Earlier version, they don't have this feature. They need to maintain in Pega itself.
So Mukesh, when you import it after putting it in a spreadsheet, I mean it gets loaded into where?
It will like give an Excel file, CSV file, so you can make changes to that one.
No, I mean into Pega, where does it get loaded?
Your local drive.
Okay.
Actually, like when you actually export it, it will import your local drive, and when you import it, it will import it to the same decision table in the rule itself.
Okay.
I'll show you that out. I'll show you that one. Yeah, I'll show you the demo of that.
And you said the row conflict means like A, B, C, D, and the second row is saying A, B, C, D values. Then it will not execute. Is that or?
Yeah. You see, actually, given the condition like A and B, and whatever the value of C is going to return D. Okay.
Correct.
And second row, I'm saying that A and B value is same as row 1 and C value is D. Okay, something value.
Oh,
so what will happen? Actually, the first row is always get evaluated true, right? If for that A, B value, because whatever the value of C is doesn't matter. So that row is going to be executed on that time, and then second row is never going to be executed because A value is same, C value whatever the thing, the first row is getting evaluated first, and that becomes true. So the second row will become like is a dead code in your.
I mean, it comes only if the first row doesn't. I mean, it's not. It's else condition kind of.
Yeah, so there is like if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, which is like where if else if. So there is like it's mainly written as if else if there.
Okay.
Yeah. So same thing like your decision tree. So decision tree we are like consist of different set of conditions and the results. Actually there actually we don't return true false. Here we can write different properties to return onto that. Okay. So there we will see that out also how the decision tree looks like. So that actually will tell you about this one, how you can test your decision rules.
So, Mukesh, in that OR can never be an option, it will always be AND.
No, or can be
Right.
option. So actually within A like that you can write or as well. So between that columns it will be always AND.
Okay.
You can write one more condition below onto that. So that will be written the same value. So if you say you want to look for A and or B or C, right? So you can write
Yeah.
one more rows for that. You need to include one more row.
So I can't say if A or B and C are true. I can't say that, is it?
No. See, actually, like if you want to see that, if A is value is 1, 2, okay, and B
Okay.
value is 3, and you want to see that D is 1, okay. So in that scenario, you want to return 4, okay. So you need to write two rows. One is 1, 3, 1, another is 2, 3, 1.
Oh, okay.
So that will become both scenario. We are going to return 4. So in first, we'll say if it is 1. If A value is 1 or is 2, so that two things both will be written 4 for that.
Okay, so under each row, the column can hold only one value. Like,
Yes.
okay.
There is one more feature, like you can include within A you can write A or like 1 or 2. There is one more feature, within A you can write if A is 1 or 2 and B and C.
Okay.
Within A you can write if it is the values are actually if A is 1 or 2 and B or C, B and C, then you return true. So within the columns it will be always AND.
Okay.
And within that your one column you can have multiple values with the OR onto that. I'll show you that one so you can understand that one.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so the decision tree is another thing. Actually, there you can write nested conditions. So if A, B, C condition and return D in that way, and you have finally like same thing, otherwise result. So both decision tables and decision tree can be like interrelated. You can either go for decision table or you can go for decision tree as well. So same actually approach we can decisions things we can get from either one of them. So we depend on to the like here we have actually up to the multiple conditions like depend on to the different values of the same property. But here in this decision tree we can have multiple property with different values. In decision table we have same property with different values into it. So we are going to combine with the different values of the same property. But in case of decision tree, it will be good to have different properties with different values. So we can have conditions based on that. Okay. So that we were talking about the conflict. So conflicts is like verify that all the rows and branches can be tested. Okay. And the same thing was completeness. So it will like what are the values of that fields. So if it is the type of leave and all that, all the conditions are going to be tested onto that. So that we have a completeness, and finally we can test it out, run the rule. Okay. And the final thing is the how we are going to write the specification about the decision rules. So normally we don't have any document decision specifications. So normally it's actually part of the flow, actually where we are going to write the flow specifications or the assignment specification. We should include the decisions specification within that one. So actually how we are going to write all the conditions, what are the different output, all the things and results. So all that need to be captured into the your specification onto that. specifically final thing, the decision behavior to appropriate assignment or flow action specification. So most of the time we go for to update that decision specification within the assignment or flow action specifications. Okay. Yeah. So now I'm going to show you that how we can create different type of decision strategy.
Mukesh, the last slide which you showed, can you, can you just explain one more time quickly? I didn't exactly follow that.
Yeah, okay. So how you are going to document, actually like in the specifications, how you are going to write your decision documentations.
Okay,
So
documentation, okay.
Yes, this is about your, how you are going to write your specification about your decisions, or like how you are going to write the business rules or the specification onto that. So that
Okay.
actually we have all the conditions and the results, whatever you are going to include into that, all need to be included into the specification. And if this is related to the direct flow processing, we include into the flow specification itself. And if not that, then we should go to the assignment or flow action one specification. Assignment which are related to the saves which we have, assignment or flow action, we should write our specification onto that one.
Okay.
So there is two, if you can see the last paragraph here, so that will decide that where you should write your. So if our decision is not used to direct flow processing, in that scenario, we go to the assignment or flow action specification. So we mainly write our decisions one. Actually, if it is related to the direct flow processing, then we go for the flow specification. And if it is not related to flow, or it is related to the UI or routing or to the other thing, then we go for the assignment or flow action specification.
Okay.
So
Mukesh, I'm not able to hear anything.
Well, same thing. I thought he's fixing something. Is he explaining something? I'm not able to hear either.
I think he's in mute.
Okay,
Okay.
sorry. Okay, fine. Sorry. Okay, I did
Oh,
mute
you
one. Actually, I was,
okay.
yeah. Oh, okay, I did mute for myself which is for some. Okay, I was just. Okay, sorry. I got mute. Okay. Now actually it's fine, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
now you can hear it. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. So actually we have the approval. So in the, if you can see, we have the condition, like we can write an when condition here. So I'm assuming that is PTO is less than 2 hours, right? So it's like I'm given the name of the when rule, and when I click onto that, if it, the beauty of this one is actually if it is already existing, it will open that one. If it is already exists, then it will open the rule. If it's not, then it will ask for to create the rule. So here it will let me say I want to create the rule. So when rule is very simple. When rule, we can just give the conditions there. So here if you want to write when condition like that, you can write the conditions. So say when values, we have PTO dot hours. Okay, so like that you can make it less than or equal to 2 hours. Then it's going to be auto approve that. So that's the condition, which is like simple condition. And if you want to go for advanced one, we can do from here. So there if you can write multiple condition, and then you can go for A and B, A or B, like multiple condition can be attached here. And then we can write like is selected B, then we can write A and B as well. So that's way like multiple condition in the when you want to evaluate, which can be done from that. So this is the simple.
How are you tagging this condition to the whatever field you selected that, or?
Okay. This one actually I've given the when condition, right? And when I write this, this is the property. This is the property page name, and this is the property hours.
Oh, okay.
So that actually are related with that property. So this is the property with that. Okay, the hours is actually less than 2 hours, so it's not required any.
Now the dot PTO is coming from where?
Okay. Actually, like, yeah, that's actually like page concept, actually, like, which discussed right about the page concept. So we have created the page, right, for the PTO in our data model.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if you see all these things, we have created a page group, so that if you need to give is a page list item there. Yeah. So this is like we have created the PTO, right? So within the PTO, we have all the fields within it. So these are the fields which are the part of that fields, hours, all day and date. So that we are going to use the hours into that.
Okay, got it. Okay. Sorry, I forgot that.
Yeah, actually it's a PTO1. Actually I'm just hard coding that. Actually just I'm taking that it's a one request only, and that is 2 hours only. So the timing we can have multiple things we can include here. So this is the one of the thing we can include.
You said PTO 1 means you're creating multiple.
PTO can be applied multiples, right? Actually, we can have like in one day I'm applying for 2 days, another day I'm applying for the full day in single instance. So for the timing, I'm just taking that the first PTO request is 1. So that need to be referenced in this way.
Okay.
So in that it will test it out like how this is working. So this condition.
That's the syntax then, how you write it, right?
Yes, that's the syntax of actually how you refer a page list or page list. To referring a page list, we need to write in that way.
Okay.
So this is the simple when condition. So nothing much we write onto the when. So it's a simple rule like if else if it will return true or false. So if it is true, then the value will be getting executed. It will skip the stage. If this is false, then it will not going to skip the stage. Okay. So the next thing we are going to see how we can going to write a decision table. Okay. So that is again we are going to use it. However, we use submission to write. So I did it previous also before the UI. I changed it back to that. So I need to do it once again. The same thing which you did earlier. We are going to include a decision save, and in that decision save, we are going to call it decision table.
So Mukesh, I had a doubt generally in the process flow. So we are doing a process flow for every stage individually, right?
Yes.
Will we have the option to look into the whole process flow together with all the stages included?
No.
Okay. Because in traditional BA, that is how it is done, right? We put the entire flow together.
That's a tool, right? Pega actually mainly go for atomic use cases.
Okay.
Like Pega works in atomic use case. Actually, they don't work. It's like the complete approach of that one. The complete use case where you have all the swim lanes, all the actors, all the process, everything will be included into the single diagram. And then they divide that into atomic use case. So in Pega, mainly we use the atomic use case only.
Okay.
So if you see you have PQ leaf, and from here want to go to the execute leaf.
Sorry, Priyanka, what was your question, Priyanka? What I mean, you're saying like in business, regular business analyst, it is the flow is different.
Yeah, in regular BAs, usually what we do is we put the entire flow together, right, in the specifications phase.
Okay.
Here we are going stage-wise, individually.
Okay, I got it, what you're saying. Okay.
So
like
the start and end, when we click on end, actually we will end the entire flow of the whole process, like for all the stages together. Whereas here, the start and end signifies only for that single stage.
Yes, that's right. So in earlier versions, actually, that's what the complexity is there. You can see, Priyanka, what will happen onto that? So the maintainability will be higher onto that. If you say like a single place, so you have like here you have only like 10 to 15 saves, right? If it is more than 50 saves, how you are going to see that in a single place? How you can relate that every information? That's why actually Pega's best practice says that don't more than 15 flows in one place. There should not be more than 4 connectors from a one shape.
Oh, not more than 4 in one shape. But for decision, it is 4. What about the assignment like create request?
Yeah, that's also from there. Actually, if you see from here, you can see maximum should be 4. If you have, create one more saves from that. Don't include many into like that will change actually like the maintainability become harder onto that. So Pega's best practice is that don't go for more onto this one.
Okay.
So like So actually make
Yeah, I tried creating these shapes over the weekend, so that's what I was wondering.
Actually, it will allow you, but it will give you a warning. So if you say actually from here, you will see a warning there. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you say okay, for result is PTO, I can say like PTO is most of the plan. I change it to PTO. Then we have extended leave. So say extended, and that is
The likelihood score. Suppose there are 4 connectors. It should all add up to 100 from each connector.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I tried. So if it does not add up, it will again give another warning, right?
Yeah, actually I made it wrongly. Now it will just, you can see that now.
Okay.
So I given 60, 20 and 30. So that become 110 now. So in draft on mode, it will not going to give you a warning. Okay, if I make draft off, then it will give me the warning onto that. Value cannot be blank, unable to open. Yeah, actually like here we are not giving that. It doesn't give any warning onto that. So here, okay, let's come back to that one. No, it doesn't give any warning onto that because the decision table is itself not there. So might be it's not giving. So just finding and made it to 20. We'll see that later. I'll change it and I'll show you that. So now it's like your decision save. So here actually I've included the decision save, and within the decision save we have you can see what are the different options we have. So decision table, decision tree, Boolean expression is nothing but the when rule. So if you want to include a when rule, you can go for Boolean expression directly here. And then for map value, they are more advanced onto that. Predictive and scorecard model is for decision management. So they actually like they will do some research and actually based on that they will predict and give you decisions. So what are the best offers will be for that candidate. So that is the part of that too. And these two are mainly more on technical part, so that is not included. So we have included. So here we are going to use the decision table. So you can check here, check type of lead. Okay. So here I can open the rule and can create the rule. Okay. So this way actually get the look and feel of you can see of the decision table. So here I'm going to I could see a dot.
Oh, sorry, Mukesh. How did we come to this stage? Like, what did we click to come to this table?
1 minute. If you see, either you can create decision table separately from here itself, okay, from app, and you can come here, and you can just maintain that one. So if you don't have created that one, and I given the name of the rule which I'm going to create or want to reference the rule here, okay, and click onto this one. So that I just explained that, right? Actually that if the rule is already existing, it will going to open that rule. If it is not there, it will going to open a, you want to create that rule. So first thing it will be, because we have already opened that one, so it's again in problem. So there we have given that this new rule. Okay. So this is not yet saved. So basically once you click on save, then only it's going to create the rule for you. So if you say I just save it, so the rule will be saved now. So currently there is no column, so it's giving error. So here actually we write to the do the property. So if you say I want to write the here, so here actually we have options, what type of field you want to go. So I want to go for type of request. Okay, what is the type of the request I want to go for? Based on that, I want to go for it, and you want to that condition equal to, so it's fine, and okay, save the request.
So this
So
drop
here,
down is actually the page list drop down. Is it?
it's actually case. So all the properties, if you can see in your case here, all these properties are displayed there. So whatever the properties you have in your case, it is getting displayed there.
Okay.
So if you include any page or page group, so you need to give the dot and then you can refer the properties within that one. So these are, if you can see, are different page, and these are the single value property. Start date and type of request is a single property. So here actually you can see I'm directly can go for show completeness. So all the values of the type of request automatically come here. So I have included 4 fields. So all the 4 fields came into it here. Okay. So the first, actually, I just want to, I can delete that row. So there is an option to delete and this part. So if I say I want to delete the rows. So this rows is getting deleted. So if you see there is 4 columns, and if you see you want to include that, okay, family leave and medical leave, you want to go for other leave. So how you can do that together, right? So that you want to include the OR rule onto that. So if you can include it here, yeah. So there's an option OR, right? So if you say family events, or actually you want to go for this one. So if you say I want to do this way, so either of them, it's going to be other leaf. So I can delete this row as well. So if you see now, you have that key condition. If bereavement leave, I want to return a extended. If this is family event or medical leave, I want to go for other. And this is PTO, I want to go for PTO. And for otherwise, I'm going for other. Okay. Is it clear?
Sorry, how did you merge for family event and medical leave?
There is an option, you can see this one, or.
Okay.
So you want to include before or after, or you want to delete the or condition. So you have an option to that.
Okay.
So within the values, you can, like within the column, you can have or condition. So if you say if A is 1 or 2, and B, so you can have, and if you want to include multiple conditions, you have an option this one. So if you want to include one more column, so you want to include one more column, and the property of that you can give in this way.
Okay.
So here again, you want to include one property. So the condition becomes, if you click onto dot, or if you say employee, and within that dot, if you give that, all the properties within the that will come here. So that you can include that as well to decide that. So currently, like if you are including a single one, so yeah, one thing actually, like if you can see currently, if it is disabled, so if you into the row where you can give the values, then that becomes editable. If you are into there, all the rows actually you can see it's getting not there. And if you want to be one of the here or anywhere where you can input, only that scenario it's getting the enabled. So if you say I want to delete this column, so I can delete the column as well. So basically I show you show completeness. So complete is again actually if you have the some of the condition is not going to be like wrong. If you say click on the show conflict, there is no conflict, so it will say that it's consistent. So if in case of actually if any value which is in conflict, it will going to show that row, okay, this row is in conflict, check that out. And then actually told about the export and an import, right? So if you want to export that.
Mukesh, what is this condition actually achieving right now? It says if bereavement leave return extended action.
Yeah, if you see in my decision table, it's going to return three values, right? PTO, extended, and other.
Oh, okay.
So actually, like in my time of request, if you see type of request, we have given four values. So this is the four values the users can apply: PTO, family events, medical leave, and bereavement leave. So I'm saying PTO if you're applying PTO. If you're applying for family events or medical leave, it will be go for other leave. And if it is applying for bereavement leave, that will become a extended leave.
Okay.
So that actually we are setting that values for that one.
Okay.
So ultimately, like what will happen once actually like you selected the leave, it will be decided from this table. Okay, this is that one, and we don't need to choose from that. Is like it will be automatically set by Pega itself. The value of the Pega is set, and then the decision table will return the exact value of that, and it will be automatically that assignment will be shown to the user. So that's the export and import. So if you see when you did the export, an Excel sheets come up, so you can update the Excel sheet and import it back here.
So Mukesh, I had one doubt, like in the previous step, right? We are making change in the flow. Will that make a change on the step also of that particular stage?
Right, that will become multi-process flow. So you'll not able to see that become a all will be merged.
Okay.
This is different one. Sorry. Yeah. So if you see your time off, so this will all five will be merged into a single process.
Okay.
We'll not see the stepwise onto that again. That will change to multi-process. So if you say actually I saved it, export import I'm not doing. So it is like it's you saved it and then you want to test it your results. So if you say just a simple one, if you like so you want to run it, it will be complex. Then it's like multiple if and condition you can test it. But this is also if you want to test it, you can run it out. So if you say what values you want to give, so if you say I don't PTO, so it will going to return me PTO. Okay, so if you say return PTO, so if you say the value is not there, so if you say I'm going to return other, so it will going to return me the otherwise conditions. So it's returning me other, but actually it's giving that value that the other is not there in the type of request. So we have just four values, so we cannot give other in that one. So we say we want to go for family events. Okay. And when to run it, it will return me other. So this way we can test our condition as well. So if you have multiple conditions, we can write and there will be multiple values also will be displayed here and all the values we can put and we can test that as well. So this is not required as part of in the BA certification. It's not that much required, but to understand some of the Pega features, you need to know about this one. Okay, so that's actually of the decision table. So that's done, and then we can go back to our flow, and we can save it out. Given a name here like that. Yeah. So now actually we have set up. Actually we have set up two things. One is lead time and when rule. So now we're going to see how it's going to behave on to time. So automatically when you choose your request, automatically it will go to the type of the request based on that. In 7.2, it's not included at all. Actually, if you can see, automatic business policy is not part of the course certification itself. Yeah. So if you say you want to create a new one, that I
Also, the when decision table, decision tree, all three will not be part of the exam.
yeah, actually, all the complete automatic business policy is not part of exam.
Okay.
In 7.1, it's there. In 7.2, it's not there at all. Okay.
Okay.
If you see, you save the flow, it will become changing.
You mean they took it off of the 7.2 certification?
Yeah, actually they have
Okay.
more focus onto the analysis part, like what's the actual role of DCO session, how you do the business analysis, how you go for good requirements, objectives, all that are included in 7.2.
Okay.
And in 7.1, they are actually like more on how you go for the data model, UI, automatic business policy, case design. So if you see in 7.2, application analysis and design are become 70% of it.
Mm-hmm.
So they are included, yeah. So that 30% include rest of all other things. And in 7.1, it was a like mixture of everything.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I'll suggest you. I don't know if you are part of some of the groups in the LinkedIn. There is some groups which is related to BPM. So if you feel good that, if you can join that group.
Okay, could you suggest like is there any
Yeah, actually there is like a lot of business like business architects and business analysts part of the BPM for there is name as BPM for I'll suggest you to that. There is BPM
okay.
for BPM 1 and there is like all the different not just PEGA, all the BPMs are getting discussed onto that forum. So recently there is
Okay.
a told about this one, right? Automations. So there is a lot of discussion is happening around the PEGA robotics, like PEGA automations, how we are enabling for that. So I'll send you that one. Okay, so this is save, and if you can see, it's like based on the type of request I'm getting selected. Let's say I went for PTU, so I can select the second. Also, I'll show you that. So if you see, it submit. Oh, start date. Okay, and so now if you can see directly, like it will going to show me the PTO, like if the decision will be taken care by internally, and it will show me directly the PTO one. So if it will directly show me the PTO, so depend on what type of leave, so that based on the decision table, it's going to show me that. So if you say I want to go for 28 and for just 1 hour. So in this scenario, it's not going to show me the complete stage, approval stage will be skipped now. Pending request. Yeah. Oh, actually, okay. Verify accurately, and then it will go to the. So if you see, like it's skip the second stage completely, approval doesn't come. So directly it moved to the pending request. Okay. So that's the step is skipped completely. Like we have given that when conditions. So that is if the PTO hours is less than 2, so it will skip the approval stage. So that happened. So in this way, we can go for different decision tables and when rule. Okay. So that's it for today. So tomorrow we are going to see some more onto the routing, SLAs, correspondence, and delegation. So the next 2 days, like we are going to cover these 4 rules, and then we're going to see the reporting, and then we'll start with the DCO. So what are the different components which are going to discuss on the how we can go for DCO a lot. So there will be required 3 or 4 classes to discuss about DCO onto that. Okay.
So Mukesh, when do we use Pega Express? For now, we have always gone through our Designer Studio only, right?
Yeah, you can use actually either one of them. Like see, most of the time, actually like the same thing which you can enable all the things what we are doing, right? We can use Pega, like the rules which we are going to create, right? Decisions and everything. We need to use Designer Studio only. Like if your case, flows, and other things, data model. If you see Pega Express, they have 3 things you can create from there only. You can go for your case, data model, UI. Like only the based on the data model, you can create your basic UI onto there. If you want to model that, you need to come back to the Designer Studio. So this is cases, data, and users.
Okay.
So for all other things, if you want to go for, you need to go for it to the Designer Studio.
And if we create it in Designer Studio, it will automatically get populated here also, right? The relevant things. Like whatever case, the time of case, I will be able to access from here, even though I created in Designer Studio. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
So there is, like if you see, it's Pega, actually you can see this one. In Pega Express, you can see this one. Level 1 achievement, right? So whatever the things we have done, you can see that becomes on onto that. So if you say we have done edit a view, we have added a case type, we have added a edit mode. So that 3 things are done. So if you say second thing, we have done an approval step, we have done. We are not routing used, so we are going to do that routing. So that becomes routing will be enabled. We are going to route the report so that we can see report. We have used the document, but not for this application. So we can see document. Then it's like we have used this one, but not from the Pega Express. So there you can see level 3 achievement. So this basically says that like what are the different things you can get it from your Pega Express. So there is a 4 level of achievement onto that. So these all things you can achieve in your case. So all the things which is mentioned here, this all 4 level, right? We can achieve from the Pega Express. So all the things which is mentioned here, we can get it from here itself in the Pega Express.
But Mukesh, I think there's something you said Pega Express has some limitation, right?
Yeah. So all see actually from this actually like see
we can run the business rule or something. Yeah.
Like if you see, if you want to the UI part, actually if you want to use many UIs, the decision rules or other things which we cannot do it from here.
Okay.
On the automatic business policy mainly like need to go for like Designer Studio itself.
Correct. Okay.
So other like case we can go for like how to go to the case. We can create our case from here. We can see the complete case, all the things whatever we see, the stages, what are the different become complex. So if you see this, you want to see this one. If you like, you want to open, you want to flow. So the flow is not getting open from here. You can just open the steps, but the flow is not getting open from here. If you see from here, the flow is open process is not coming here. So that actually you cannot make changes to the flow from here. So okay, so will we stop now and we'll continue tomorrow? Okay, so you got put the distance tables perfect. Okay, I'll send it like categorically. I'll send the documents, but still I didn't meet that one for my. I got busy with that, so I'll send you today on that one. And I'll suggest you some of the groups name, so that will be good to join in the BPM's part of it. So that is the like there is happening in the different segments of the all the BPM's terminology is used into that one. So it will be good to start with that.
Okay. Which document you said you're going to send?
This one, some of the PPTs I have not sent, and then actually want to send that one that expense voucher case.
Oh yeah, the project. Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, I'll send that out. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Yep. Thank you. Thanks a lot, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you,
Have a
Mukesh.
nice
Bye.
day.
You too.